Hello everybody, it's Alina, and in today's video we are building this big ol' house for a family of 8 Sims in the world of Copperdale in The Sims 4, obviously. And I built it on a 30 by 30 lot. This is the lot where the principal lives when you just start up a new game, so that's cool. And I've never built here before, so that's really fun. What a huge accomplishment that is. No, not really. Anyway, but yeah, this is a big house and it has room for up to 8 Sims. As I said, it's a 5-bedroom and 4.5 bathroom house, so yeah, I think it's pretty big. And I put a main bedroom for 2 parents and 3 kids bedrooms, whereas like 2 of the bedrooms can fit 1 Sim each, and then the third children's bedroom can fit 2 Sims, and then there's a room downstairs with a double bed, so that room also fits 2 Sims, so that's 8 Sims in total, which is pretty fun. And I had a lot of fun making this house. I really did not know that I was gonna end up with a house that looked like this when I started building this house, because I was just like playing around, like I didn't take inspiration from anywhere, and it just kind of was something I pulled out of my ass, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I had a lot of fun making it, and it just like ended up looking this way, but I did not realize that it was gonna end up looking this way in the beginning, and I didn't know what sort of style I was gonna go for, and I still to this day into this very minute I still do not know what style this house is, because I'm absolutely horrible with like architectural styles, as you probably know if you've been on this channel before, because I feel like I mentioned it far too often. But that's because I just like cannot narrow any style down, and I cannot like tell you what style any of my houses are, which is really embarrassing because I do this a lot and I'm very like interested in building in these Sims, so I kind of should know a little bit more about it, but I don't. But yeah, anyway, so to me it kind of like gives off sort of a 70s house, just because I feel like sometimes you see houses from like the 70s or the 50s, 60s or something that are kind of like woody on the outside, and they kind of look similar to this one, and like the roofing on this house is kind of 70s looking in my little stupid half brain. Yeah, so I don't really know what style this is, but I would say that it's like a renovated 70s house or something. Like it was built in the 70s, but I furnished it for a family that's like living here in the 2020s, so like right now, and they've got just like modern-ish interior. Like it's not modern, but it's just like realistic in my opinion, but it's like kind of fancy because I feel like these people are pretty rich. But it's very like woody on the inside, because I feel like this house just has a lot of wood like on the inside and the exterior obviously as well. So yeah, I don't know, it's very brown, but I kind of enjoyed that. Like I don't normally enjoy super brown interior. I did build a house with like super brown interior just a few days ago. No, that was like 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I don't know what time is. Time is like such a weird concept in my head and I don't understand anything. But yeah, anyway. What am I trying to say? I don't know. But I don't really normally like brown interior that much, and I definitely don't really like it in real life. Like it just kind of becomes a little bit too much for me. But I quite like it in this house, and I have sort of been liking it a little bit more recently, which might be why I've done like 2 very woody houses almost back to back. Yeah, I don't know though. Anyway, I like this house and I think it's cute, and I hope you all like it too. And I was just kind of like playing around with everything. I did not know what I was gonna do with it. It just sort of like ended up looking this way, and I'm kind of happy with it. So yeah, I hope you all like it too. And as I said, it is like a 5-bedroom and 4.5 bedroom house. They also have a laundry room, and they've got a big old garage, and they've got a home gym even, which is something I basically never do. I don't know. So that was really fun and very fancy in my opinion, and I had a lot of fun making this house. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about it, I guess. I didn't really think too much about the Sims who live here, but I wasn't thinking that it's the Sims that live here originally, like the principal and her family, just because I don't really remember what her family is like. I think it's like the principal, and then she lives with like her dad or something, and then she also has the 2 daughters that also like go to the school, or at least one of them goes to the high school because she's a teenager, but the other one is a child. That's how I remember it in my head, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, I don't think they are the ones that live in this house, because they're only like 4 Sims, and I was imagining that up to 8 Sims would live in this house. But I didn't really think of like a different family that could live here. But obviously they have like 2 parents and then 2, no, I was about to say 2 children. No, they got 4 children. They've got room for 4 of them, and then there's like the downstairs bedroom that has room for 2 Sims, so I was imagining that maybe like the grandparents live in that room, but it's not like very personalized at all. Like it's pretty boring, that downstairs bedroom, and it's not very grandparent-y in my opinion, but obviously you can just say that the grandparents that live in this house don't really like super old-timey furniture and they're not really into the stereotypical grandparents stuff, I guess. I don't know. But it could also just be like a guest bedroom if you don't want anybody to live there all the time, or it could be for one of the parents' siblings or something like that. I don't really know, but that's obviously all up to you. It could also be turned into a fourth children's bedroom if that's what you want to do. Oh, and I just remembered that when I was building this house, I was thinking that 3 of the 4 kids are actually triplets. So I was thinking that like the parents, they had a 1 kid originally and then they wanted to have 1 more, so they got pregnant, and then the world was like, oh, you wanted 1 kid? Well, how about 3? So they had triplets, and that's really fun. That's a lot of kids. But yeah, now they've got 4 kids in total, and in my head the oldest kid is now like 15 or something, and the triplets are around 11 years old, so they're still technically kids, but they're like in the awkward in-between stage, like they're preteens right now, and it's just like that awful age range where like we all have very bad memories from. Yeah, anyway, so I decorated their room in like a relatively mature way for children, but like not in a very mature way. Like they still have some stuffed animals, but they also have like some teenagey things in my opinion. So yeah, those bedrooms are just for little preteens, and I was thinking that the teenager, like the 15-ish year old, the one who doesn't have any, you know, womb mates, they have this huge dream of becoming a famous singer, so I tried to sort of reflect that with their room, and I put a microphone in their room, and it's like standing right in front of that really fun star-shaped mirror that we have in the base game. I think it's like an unlockable item that you can get in the entertainer career or something, but it's just like a star-shaped mirror that fits in really well in a room like that for someone who wants to become a singer, and that's just that. They have the biggest room in the house because, you know, they're like a single child, or at least they grew in the womb by themselves. So yeah, and they're like the oldest, so they get to have their own room, and it's the biggest one. And yeah, that's it. That's like a little bit about the kids in this house. Oh wait, I forgot to say this, but I decorated like the more feminine of the tween triplets bedrooms sort of thing in a very, very fun way, and I used the new, what's that called, pastel pop kit, yeah, for that room, and I had so much fun with it. I spent a long time on it for some reason, but I was just like really having a lot of fun playing around with the new items, because this is my second build that I'm doing with the new kits, the everyday clutter one and the pastel pop kit. So I had a lot of fun using those two, especially like the pastel pop one in the children's bedrooms. I used it quite a bit, and then I decorated the room for 2 kids in a more like masculine-ish way. It's not very cute in my opinion, like I don't really like it that much, but I did my best, I guess. But I definitely like the more feminine rooms more than, you know, the masculine one. Anyway, I feel like I'm having such a hard time stringing together sentences today. I think I'm just really tired because I've had a long day, so I'm very sorry if I sound absolutely crazy, and yeah, anyway, whatever. This is a long video, so that's gonna be fun. You're in for a fun, long ride, my friend. Anyway, though, so I was also imagining that they have a dog, but I mean, obviously, if you have 8 human Sims in this house, you can't have a dog as well, because they also count as a family member, like they take up a slot as well, so you can't have a dog if you have 8 Sims, so I guess you're just gonna have to, like, have 7 human Sims and then a dog or something like that. But yeah, I put some dog balls and a lot of, like, dog stuff around the house, so I was thinking that they have at least 1 dog, and I was picturing like a really big and completely white dog, like one of those dogs that look like indoor polar bears. Yeah, like a Samoyed. Is that what they're called? Samoyeds? I think that's what they're called. Or like a white German Shepherd or a white Husky or something, like a very fluffy white dog. I was just like imagining a dog that blends in with the snow. That's the kind of dog that would be living in this house for some reason. That was just what I had in my head. Can't explain why. But speaking of of dogs, I actually have a little bit of a story for you all. So, story time. And my little baby, my dog, my best friend in the entire world, Minnie Binnie. Well, her name is just Minnie, not Minnie Binnie, but anyway, whatever. Minnie. She actually had surgery yesterday, and it was really, really scary. But Minnie is 12 years old, and as much as I like to deny that and I refuse to accept that she's old, she is a bit of an older lady and she's not a baby anymore. But do not try to tell me that, because in my head she's 3 and she's not old, okay? But yeah, anyway, she has had this like little bump on her back for a few years or something, and when we've been to the vet, we've just like asked if it was something to be concerned about or if it was like something that needed to be addressed or anything like that. But they've just told us that it was very common for older dogs to get those types of like bumps around their body, so it wasn't anything to be concerned about. But if it like were to change and like get bigger or just change in any way, we should like go to the vet with her and get it looked at. And she has had it for about 2 years now, and it just like looked the same for those 2 years. Maybe it had gotten a little bit bigger, but it wasn't anything like huge. But then a few days ago I noticed that it had gotten like a lot bigger, and it had gotten red, and it looked like there was like an abscess on it or something, and I was very concerned about that because that's obviously not good. So we decided to call the vet and get a vet appointment. So we got one for Monday morning, and on the phone they told us that there was a chance that she would be going under the knife and having surgery, so we shouldn't feed her anything at all from like Sunday night until, you know, after the vet appointment, which was really, really good that we didn't feed her anything, because obviously she did end up having surgery. But when we went to the vet appointment, the vet obviously like thought it did not look good at all, and it was really like something that did need to be addressed, and if we held off on the surgery, there was a very high chance that it would like rupture and it would get really, really ugly and very painful for Minnie, and that would just like not be a good situation at all. But he was kind of reluctant at first to perform the surgery on her, just because she is, you know, pretty old and she does have a bit of a weak heart, so he wasn't sure that she would be able to handle that whole thing. But he drew her blood and all of her like numbers and whatnot looked fine, so he decided that it would be okay to perform the surgery on her, because that was like the best option. And if we like didn't do the surgery right then and there and got the thing removed, it would get really ugly, as I said, and she would probably have to have like acute surgery at some point. So it was way better to like do it right then and there when we were prepared and everything was under control. So we decided to, you know, go through with the surgery so it wouldn't cause any more problems. And she got the surgery at like 9:30 I think or something, and he told us that we could pick her up at around 12. And I was so nervous just because, you know, she is old, and I was so scared that she wouldn't wake up from the surgery, and I was just so nervous, and I was trying to like do my schoolwork at that time, and I was just so distracted and I could not focus on anything at all. But then at around 12 or at 12:04 he finally called us, and I was so nervous about it, but he said that everything went well and we could, you know, go and pick her up. So we hurried down to the vet and we picked her up, and she was so cute and just like so happy to see us, but also just really confused, but it was so adorable. And then we got all of her meds and we went back home with her, and she had this really cute like purple band-aid on her arm from where they put in the anesthesia, I think, or something like that, but it just looked really adorable. I don't know why I thought that was so cute, but it was just such an adorable little band-aid to have on her arm. But yeah, we took that one off obviously, and now she has this like pretty big bald rectangle on her back from where they did the surgery, because obviously they had to shave that part so they wouldn't get a lot of hair in interfering with like the surgery and whatnot. So yeah, she's bald right there and it looks kind of silly, and she's gonna look a little bit stupid for the next few weeks or something, but that's okay, it's fine obviously. And I think her wound is like maybe 3.5-4 centimeters, like 1.5 inches long, which obviously is not super big, but it's kind of big compared to her size, and it's very noticeable right now obviously since the area is shaved and it's just bald. So yeah, it looks a little bit dumb now, but that's okay, and she's, you know, 1 day post-op, so obviously she's gonna look a little bit different from when before she had the surgery, you know. Yeah, anyway, whatever, she's doing really good now, and she was just, you know, a very good girl, and she was doing so good like right after we got her home. Like she walked all by herself from the parking lot and into the living room, and she just like did not have a problem with that, and I was very impressed by how awake and well she was doing like 1 hour post-op. Like she was just happy and walking around and also barking when we got back home, and I was very, very impressed with that because I was imagining that she would be completely tired for the rest of the day and she wouldn't have an appetite at all, but she was super hungry, so we obviously gave her something to eat, and it was very understandable that she was hungry because she hadn't eaten in almost like a day at that point. So yeah, but I was just like imagining that she wouldn't have an appetite at all because she has had one surgery before, and that was a few years ago, I think when she was 8 years old, so 4 years ago by now, and she had her uterus removed, and that was really, really scary because we didn't know what was wrong with her, and she had just been really, really sick for like a few days, and it had gotten worse, and we could see that she was having like some pain in her lower back slash stomach, and we just assumed that she was having some back pains because she was having trouble like walking up these stairs and just walking in general. But when we took her to the vet discovered that it was because her uterus was infected, so she had to like remove it right then and there because it was like a few hours away from killing her or something. So that was really, really scary. And when she got out of that surgery, she was like super unwell, and it took her like a few days to get back to her normal like happy self, and she was just not eating anything at all or drinking, and she was just sleeping, and so like not good at all. But yeah, this time she was doing really, really good. But obviously like there's a huge difference between the two surgeries. Like with the uterus one, she had been sick for a few days, and the organ had like made her sick and very unwell, and obviously like she had an organ taken out of her body, so that's like a huge surgery. But this time she just like had something taken out of her skin, so that wasn't like as big. But I was very impressed with how good she was doing just 1 hour post-op. Like she was running around and she was barking, and I was like, ma'am, you were literally like cut open an hour ago and you were under like full anesthesia. Why are you running around? That's so weird. And I was so confused, but it was obviously just like a good thing, I think. I'm pretty sure it's good. But it did seem like she was having some trouble controlling her legs, and she did kind of like fall sometimes, and like she was running around as I said, and then she like fell on her butt, and I was like, girl, you cannot be doing that, you just had surgery. So I did like tell her to calm down, and I just like, you know, tried to make her calm down, but she was very just like awake and wild, and she wanted to just walk around and be her normal self and just act like she didn't just have surgery, which was really, really weird. But yeah, that was good, I guess. I'm hoping and thinking that it's a good sign that she was fresh and happy when she got out of surgery. Yeah, I don't really know anything about that kind of stuff, so I don't know, but yeah, I think it's good. But I'm just really happy that everything went well. And then this morning we started on her like antibiotics, and we gave her some pain medication, and she's just still doing really good, and we haven't had any problems with that whole ordeal, so that's really, really good. But I remember last time when she had surgery, like we weren't prepared for her to go under the knife right then and there because we didn't know what was wrong, and the vet just like took her in really, really quickly and had to just get it out of her because it was like a really bad situation, and it was, you know, about to get really, really bad. So she had to get it removed right then and there. And I remember that when we went into the vet, we saw this family with a dog, and like they were 3 humans and this one like really, really adorable chocolate brown lab, and the dog had like gray hairs in its face, and the humans were crying, so it was very, very obvious what was about to go down. And I was just so heartbroken about it because like that was when we were walking out of the vet, so my dog had just been taken into like acute surgery, and I had just witnessed that a dog was about to be put down, so I was just freaking out, and I was just like so unable to control all of my emotions, and I just like had a breakdown right there in the middle of the street, and it was just so hard to handle, and I was like 15 at the time. So yeah, anyway, I was having a tough time at that point, and I was so sad about Minnie and all of that stuff, but you know, it ended really well, and she's happy now 4 years later, and if she hadn't had the surgery, she wouldn't have been here now, so that's really, really good, and I'm happy that she, you know, had the surgery. But yeah, that was just like a tough day. And yesterday when we got into the bed, there was like also a pretty old looking chocolate brown dog, and it also had like gray hairs in its face, and I was like, don't you dare put that dog down, like I cannot handle this. It was just like too similar to the other situation, and I was so scared. But I saw that the dog like went into the vet, and he was like doing pretty okay, and then when we went to go pick up Minnie again, we saw the dog again, and he was like, you know, still alive, and he was doing really good, so I was really happy to see that. So yeah, anyway, it was just like really, really scary, and it just felt like those two situations were a little bit too similar similar at that point because like that it was a chocolate brown dog and they were old and I was so scared that that dog was going to be put down. But yeah, it seems like he's doing good. I heard that his name was Murphy, so yeah, I hope you're doing good, Murphy. Anyway though, yeah, I'm really happy that Minnie's surgery went well and I just wanted to share that little story. But she's doing good now and she's so happy and she's just walking around and being a good little girl, and she just like handled the entire situation yesterday so well and I was so proud of her. So yay, thumbs up for that, and also shout out to pet insurance because that really came in handy, so thank you. But yeah, once again, I'm really sorry. I feel like I cannot like say words today and I cannot form sentences and articulate myself in any way, shape, or form. So I'm really sorry if I'm just like mumbling and stumbling my way through this voiceover. I'm really sorry, but I'm having a hard time talking. And I feel like my brain is going like 1,000 miles per minute and it's just kind of like a little bit hard for me to deal with, but it's okay and I'm fine. It's all good. But if we just like go back to talking about the build for a little bit, so I feel like my past many builds, or at least like 3 builds and then this one, have all been in like pretty foresty and like, I don't know, landscaped-y, that sounds so stupid, but in like sort of foresty places, and they've all been super landscaped and like kind of brownish and kind of like woodsy in a way. And my next build is going to be in a very woodsy and like nature-y world as well, and I feel like I've just been in a very Henfordy, Copperdale, Windenburg, Brindleton-y mood lately, if that makes any sense to you guys. And I feel like I just am gonna be building in those worlds for the next few weeks or something, so I hope you're not sick of that yet because I'm just in that kind of mood lately for some reason. So yeah, that's good, but I don't know. Anyway, and this right here is the bedroom for the 2 kids, and I don't really like this bedroom that much. Like, I don't think it turned out that well. It's okay, but it's just like not as cute as the 2 other kids' bedrooms. I put a lot of effort into those 2 bedrooms and I had so much fun with them, and I just like didn't really enjoy doing this one and I didn't really know what to do about it, so it's not very detailed. And yeah, I don't know, I just didn't put as much effort into it as with the other 2, so it's not that great, but whatever. Also, like a minute ago, I just like plugged something into my computer and I just like got a mild electric shock on my finger. What the hell was that about? Excuse me, that is so rude. So yeah, now my finger is kind of like tingling a little bit and that was scary. I've never like experienced that with my computer. I don't know, is that a bad sign? I don't know, I'm not really sure. But also like the electricity like went out earlier today and I was like so confused because like what just happened, but then it came back like maybe a minute later or something, and I just like thought it was like a, you know, neighborhood-wide problem or something. But then my brother told me that it was because of his computer. Like his computer made the like electricity go out in the entire house. I don't know. His computer has been broken for quite some time and then he took it back to the shop to get it fixed, and I think he got it back today. But then it just gave us a power outage when he plugged it into the wall, so I don't think that's a very good sign, but apparently it's working now and we still have electricity in the house, so and that's cool. But yeah, had some fun things going on today. Also, I feel like I'm so delirious. I've been editing for literally like 8 hours today. I've been like doing some schoolwork, like this project, so I've just like been in an editing program in the entire day and I'm so tired. And I also like have to edit this video, and like I don't mind editing my videos. I think it's very fun and calming, so I don't have a problem with that. But like I've been editing all day long so I'm a little bit sick of it and I have just like not been doing anything at all. So yeah, anyway, I'm a little bit delirious and tired and exhausted now but it's okay. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. This is the teenage bedroom and I think it's really fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. It's just like purple and blue and stingery in a way that does not make sense, but I don't know, I had fun making this room and I hope you like it. But yeah, anyway, I love my dog so much. I just wanted to put that out there. And I'm so glad that she's doing well and she is recovering well from the surgery and all of that good stuff. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I feel like it was quite a mess, but I hope that's okay. But if you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed already and you enjoy my content. I would really appreciate that, but you know, you don't have to, because I don't want to like sit here and force you to do anything you don't want to do. So you can subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to. Anyway, thank you for watching, and you can can download this house on my gallery page. My ID on there is just LacyLena, exactly like my YouTube channel, so it should be pretty easy to find. But yeah, I hope you're having an amazing day, and then I cannot wait to see you all in my next video that I will be posting in just a few days. So yeah, bye everybody!